We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage and enjoy the show. Good evening from Swansea, South Wales wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and on today's episode of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, we are going to be answering your predictions for 2026, and there are some bold ones here. Now, I have chosen ones which are fairly realistic, right? Because we did get some saying Akira Tozawa will win the Royal Rumble, that John Cena will return, and none of those have been picked, very simply because the discussion would be very short. But we do have a great panel to talk about all of them with, and let's kick things off in just outside LA with Clark Taylor.
I'm happy to be here, no doubt. It's finally not raining, which is huge. It is
Big
a Monday.
one.
We're running out of days, I think, where it's appropriate to still say Happy New Year, so I'll get one more Happy New Year in case you didn't hear me say it on the shows that we've had in 2026 thus far. But I think the statute of limitations on when you can say Happy New Year is running thin this point. So I wanted to give one last Happy New Year, and I'm fired up. Let's get into Mailbag Monday.
Absolutely. We got Connor the Dragon Slayer saying that he thinks Jericho will return at the Royal Rumble, not tonight. I agree with you, Connor. We got Cav KSK in the comments. We got Zach Minger saying National Whipped Cream Day, everybody. Fernando saying today's Raw is going to be one of the most historic Raw shows ever. I'm excited for it. I don't know if Jericho's showing up. I don't believe it, but he could well do so. Fernando saying happy Mailbag Monday, everyone, as well. And Josh Markowitz predicting that John Cena will make his debut in MLW and take them to the promised land. Josh must be still tired from Wrestle Kingdom to comment such a thing like that. But also joining us today, we have Angie. How are you, Angie?
Hey, what's good, everybody? Oh, gosh, I feel like it's been almost forever. It almost feels like it's been a year since I've seen you guys. Goodness. No, I'll stop. I'm sorry. But happy New Year, everyone. It's so good to be here again for another Mailbag Monday. I'm actually looking forward to talking about some of these things we got going on for 2026. So I'm hoping for a great new year and hopefully a wonderful year of the best wrestling these companies can give.
Absolutely, because it was a rocky 2025 at times for pretty much every company other than CMLL, who just had an absolutely terrific year. Every other company did have some rough patches, but hopefully 26 will be a lot better. But without further ado, let's get into the hot takes, the predictions, which you guys submitted to us about 2026 in pro wrestling, specifically WWE. The first one is from Miguel Correa, who says CM Punk will turn heel and face Cody for the championship at WrestleMania. Clark, I want to get your perspective on this out of the gates.
So this is a really interesting one because I love the idea of CM Punk being a heel on paper, but I had to really think about it when it comes to this question because over the course of CM Punk's career, he's been effective as both a heel and a monster babyface. There's no question about that, right? He does seem to be the happiest he's ever been in his career over these last couple years as a huge babyface in the WWE. I think he would have to go to a more bitter and angry place, closer to where he was the last time he played a heel, the last time he was the bad guy, where he was bitter and angry at everybody and things like that. I think he'd have to go to that place. And I don't want to invoke like method acting, but in some ways I do think there's a lot of realism to CM Punk And I don't know at his age and at this stage of his career if turning heel and the way that he would dive so deep into trying to be a heel would be the most effective thing for Punk's personal life, especially because it's the end of his career. So I'm gonna it took me a long way to get here, but I'm gonna say no for right now. Not that I wouldn't want to see it, I just don't see, and I may just be recklessly speculating, I just don't see CM Punk wanting to take on that kind of intensity level to become the heel that he would want to be, being the perfectionist that he is as a professional wrestler.
That's actually a good point. I mean, to be fair, he has actually had crash outs every time he's been a babyface.
It's
So
true.
historically speaking, it's actually been the opposite way, but I do get what you mean, and I think he is just enjoying being there right now, to your point. The other thing is that obviously to get to this point, Punk would have to lose to Braun Breaker, presumably tonight on Raw, then turn heel, earn a title shot against Cody, and then go for that belt. Look, we've seen stranger things happen on the road to WrestleMania, but I'm not entirely sold on it. But Angie, I want to get your thoughts.
I like how you snuck in that Stranger Things, especially with tonight's
I was
theme.
going to say pun intended, but I decided to leave it.
that did not go unnoticed. But as far as for CM Punk turning heel, I don't know. I don't feel like as if they do it like this, because I feel like if they went forward with turning CM Punk heel and have him face Cody, I feel like there would be a lot of rewriting to do, and then just being like, I don't know. It's not fitting right in my head. It's like, if it's gonna happen, it's missing something without it being to where like Cody winds up being another Jey Uso and being pushed when it's not really necessary. Might not be the right word for it, but like it feels like it'll be a little bit forced if we do it like that. Like it'll feel forced a bit, if that makes sense.
That's actually a fantastic point, because I do think you're right in terms of it's very possible that fans would just cheer for a heel CM Punk over a babyface Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
on
anything,
top of that, even AJ.
right? But like, if anything, I would love to see Cody finally turn heel. Give us Homelander, give us wrestling Homelander. That would be great. Like, I feel like there's been quite a few of us that's been calling for it. But because like, sure, like things are going good for Cody right now, but like, you know, maybe a heel turn might be good to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, there is no doubt in my mind from a creative perspective that a heel Cody right now would be more interesting than what they are doing. Right? We all want to see it. We would all love it. We'd all love to boo Cody Rhodes. The issue is they don't have a babyface right now in that company who is a draw, who draws the amount that Cody does, who could fill that role. There's nobody who is that babyface unless Roman comes back full time. But even then, I don't think he's the same sort of babyface who, as Cody. He's not the John Cena. He's not doing all the Make-A-Wish stuff. He's not the guy on children's lunchboxes like Cody Rhodes is. So I just can't see them turning him heel when they don't have anybody to replace him. I hope I'm wrong, because to your point, Angie, it would be so much more interesting. DCX Warlord, of course, is falling into Clark's web of deceiving and all that, and saying Cody is a heel.
By the way, I got brown paper bags. Who cares about lunchboxes?
Oh, great. Oh, great. That's in America. In the UK, if you have a paper bag, you've probably got to pay like about £10 paper tax or something nowadays. We got Connor the Dragon Slayer saying, where was the other comment? Yeah, I've completely lost it. Saying, sorry about this, guys. Saying, what do you think about Kit Wilson's new theme song? It's an absolute banger.
The best
It's
one.
going to get him over.
I like it a lot, honestly.
It's perfect.
It's
Actually,
amazing.
no. You will know what I like better than the song?
What?
the freaking Titantron for him.
Yes,
Like, I love
yes.
the stylized Titantron. It's
Unreal.
amazing. It is completely unreal. And I wasn't expecting that because I feel bad for him. Like, he's basically lost his partner at this point because, like, he's out for injury, right?
For a while.
Yeah, he is, and we don't.
Yeah, he's
know
been
how
out for a
long he's gonna
while.
be. Like, he's been out for almost a year already, and I have no idea when he's coming back. But based on the fact that he just repackaged him, I'm guessing it's going to be a lot longer.
It's like the same thing that was happening with the Usos, like back in the early 2010s. Like, it got to a point where, like, you got to make with what you got, you know? And then, we got the tag team back again. So, like, maybe it'll follow the same way. Or maybe Kit might actually be really good as a... Maybe we're looking at another Dolph Ziggler. I don't know, man. That would be really cool, though, if it happened like that.
We got Aunt You saying Kit Wilson was the best part of SmackDown. And I mean, if you've opened up TikTok over the last 48 hours, everything is just people dancing to Kit Wilson's theme. Like, it's like the most... It's somehow gotten him over, and I love it. I've been the biggest Pretty Deadly guy since the start, but I didn't think this gimmick was going to work, but I think it might just be.
There's something about it, Ben, where it sounds like that like corny pop radio hit that, like, if it comes on, I know, right? But when it comes on and you're hanging out with your friends, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. And then you sort of hum the words. But if you're in the car driving by yourself and it comes on the radio, you turn that knob all the way up and you sing every word, and you know every word because it's catchy as could be. And that's exactly what this song is. It's perfect for Kit Wilson. That's exactly what they delivered. It's one of the best WWE themes in recent memory, sincerely, because they just nailed it on the head. Like, it's like a guilty pleasure song, and you know it is.
Do you know what I want them to do? Do you know what I want them to do with Kit Wilson, actually? Is I want him to start doing vignettes before his matches of, like, a clip from a podcast, right? Of him being on a podcast. But this podcast actually doesn't exist. It's nowhere to be found, but it's got logos are set or that he thinks it's being posted somewhere, and it's not. And they just post the part about him talking about his opponent for the night. Honestly, and I think that would be perfect.
Even if they did something, even if they did the same concept, Ben, as like the highlight reel or like one of the talk shows that you do during the show, but he calls it his podcast and he fully thinks it's like a podcast, and you can you get just little short segments out of that. He fully thinks like
it doesn't get posted anywhere.
No.
He eventually starts to get annoyed when he finds out it isn't being posted in full anywhere. He finds out about it. He's furious about it. It's like Pretty Deadly the musical all over again. It would be brilliant. Just have it be a pre-filmed vignette. It would be gold. Donnie says, imagine a heel faction on SmackDown of Cody, Drew, and Punk, elevating guys like Sammy, Trick, Ilya, etc. Honestly, Donnie, I would love that. But again, at that point, who's going to be the baby faces to draw the fans into those arenas? I don't know if anybody's ready. I hope Sami Zayn is. I want Sami Post in that spot, but we haven't seen it. And the reason we haven't seen it is because they haven't given him a chance, but I'm not entirely sure, and we'll have to wait and see. Josh Markowitz is saying that he doesn't know who's going to replace Cody in terms of being a top babyface. It feels like every young star is a heel nowadays. Javon Evans will be a Rey Mysterio, not a Cody Rhodes in terms of hype. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I do think there's a small chance for Austin Theory. I wouldn't bet on that, but I think there's a small chance that maybe he does end up going that John Cena route. Braun Breaker, though, too. Braun Breaker, I feel like, could end up being the company guy.
As a face?
Well, he was a face. Don't forget, he originally was a face during his first NXT title run.
I totally understand that, but just his level of aggression and physicality, I just have a hard time believing that that's the long-term route, is to have him as a monster face.
I'd prefer him to be the top heel long-term. I agree with you, but I just think
that's where he could get Roman Reigns, man. He's too much of a physical specimen, I think, to be pushed as a baby
Yes, but
face
because
face
they've
of the
done a
company.
heel first. I know Roman was technically a heel in the Shield, but they were always kind of.
He was a heel in the Shield.
Yeah, they were. I as a kid genuinely never thought the Shield were like proper heels. Like I thought they were like literally exactly tweeners. I
They're just
thought
like
they were on
vigilantes.
their own, and unless they were hired by somebody, like they were by CM Punk in the start, then they literally would do whatever's best for them. But they weren't proper heels. But at times there was a few segments where they properly were. But as a kid, not until I watched it back did I actually think, okay, they were trying to be heels. I always thought they were trying to be, Switzerland essentially, completely neutral, completely down the middle. But I mean, Obafemi could be the Roman, says Kobe. We will have to wait and see. A lot of good young stars, just not a lot of them which feel like they could be the top babyface. But who knows? Maybe even Javon could be that guy, even if you do see him as the next Rey Mysterio. Up next, the next submission is actually by two different people. I've combined two questions for the price of one. The January sales, because we got M. Lubrano 1219 who says Finn Balor will become a world champion, and Rutger RS07_27 who says LA Knight will become a world champion. I'm going to be honest, guys. I have a hot take for you both. My hot take is I think there's more of a chance of Finn Balor becoming a world champion than there is of LA Knight becoming a world champion. But ultimately, I don't think either will. Clark?
So don't get me wrong. Finn Balor, I think, is criminally underrated. He's awesome. He's unfortunately, and I hate to bring up the age thing, but he's been sort of wallowing in this Judgment Day thing during the last few years, you would think on paper, of his prime. So I would love to see something like that. I would absolutely adore the possibility of even somehow trying to rebuild the Demon, which got ruined. And I don't understand. I've been on record and said it 1,000 times that I'm a huge LA Knight fan. There's no doubt about that. I think he's as charismatic as anybody. I think they're both great. But the answer to the questions is absolutely no. Neither one's winning a world title next year. If by gold you mean a world title, no. No, not next year, not the year after, not the year after that, and not even the year after that. No, it's not going to, maybe a US title or an IC title at best, or a tag run or something, but world title, yeah, right. I'm sorry. I don't want to knock the question.
No, I'm going to actually stick up for Finn Balor for a second, guys, because I can see Kobe Galanzowski in the comments as well saying nobody cares about Finn anymore. You guys are right. As a heel in the Judgment Day, the Judgment Day 100% in my eyes is going to end this year. If Finn Balor turns babyface, goes back to that demon persona, that dude can get over, and I mean massively over, in like 2 to 3 months, right? That won't even take too long. So I think it's possible, just massively, massively unlikely, because ultimately Clark, and also like Eddie Walker says, I don't think either is going to. Kay the Great says LA Knight has more chance of being released this year. I mean, that kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
That's intense. that seems a bit too much, but okay.
He's not getting
wish
released.
that on anybody.
I don't think he's getting released.
He's not getting released, but he's also not winning gold. I mean,
the problem with Finn Balor is,
dude,
dude, he's been cosplaying as Jeff Hardy with a purple bandana out of his back pocket for a year and playing marionette shows with Mr. Iguana on YouTube. Like, you haven't given this guy an opportunity to do anything in like 3 years. We all forgot about him.
I mean, DCX Warlord says Mr. Iguana wins the Rumble and dethrones Cody because he's a bigger fan favorite. Honestly, there's more of a chance of that, in my opinion, than LA Knight winning the Rumble. And so many people think he's going to do it, Clark. I can't see a world where it happens.
Nope. Not on my bingo card for this year. Absolutely not, man. There's too many other names, and it sounds like I'm being too harsh on Finn. I'm not being harsh on Finn. He just got booked in this position where we have to rebuild him. LA Knight's just in such an interesting spot. He's a gatekeeper at this point. He feels like Derek Lewis to the UFC heavyweight division. Like, yes. That's literally who LA Knight is at this stage of his career. He's a star, but he's not going to win a title.
Tony says better chance of Clark becoming world champion.
I was thinking about entering the Rumble. We'll see. I don't know. I did see the tape of Speed last year.
No, look, if LA Knight wins the Rumble, everybody needs to be back here the day after, because the amount of apologizing, which practically our entire podcasting lineup is going to have to do to LA Knight, is going to be unbelievable. But that man, I mean, I'm not even certain he's going to be on the Mania card. He probably will be, but also I could see him being in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. I'm not going to lie. But up next, guys, let's go to the next question. Let's put a hand back in the mailbag, because the next question is from Mikey Mad. I don't know how to say the rest of that name. I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely no clue. But this person says that Dominic Mysterio will win Money in the Bank, and that is how he becomes world champion. Look, if Dom, well, whenever Dom wins a WWE or World Heavyweight Championship for the first time, I completely agree. It needs to be via Money in the Bank, because he is literally the perfect character for that stipulation. His gimmick, it fits it perfectly. Him holding that briefcase, being scared that he's going to mess it up, and eventually successfully doing it and rubbing it in everyone's faces. I'd love it, and I hope it happens. I really do. But Angie, what's your thoughts?
The fact that I know that it would be so perfect for him is what irritates me a little bit. But I could see it. Like, I can see Dom winning the Money in the Bank and then becoming world champion that way. But at the same time, gosh, is he going to have so much fun with it if he does? We're not going to hear the end of it. We're not going to hear the end of it. It's going to be every single time he gets a chance to put a mic in his hand, where he's just going to be like, how you like me now, you know? But I do love the idea, so that way he can get back some of that heel heat that he had in the beginning of his heel turn and everything. His heel run, I should say. I'm sorry. And be able to get basically booed out of the building. That would actually be pretty cool to see. But at the same time, I'm just like, maybe it might not be as intense, but it'll definitely have the right intention behind it.
I mean, look, you said it. You know how annoying it would be with him holding that briefcase, but at the same time, that's what would make it so perfect. I think it's a tough one to predict, but I do think it is way more likely that Dom wins the world title this year compared to the previous names of Balor and LA Knight, which we spoke about. I could see it happening, but I also think that maybe it's another year away. Maybe it's not the 2026 Money in the Bank, but the 2027. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. There's a comment here from Fernando who says that no, Dom isn't winning because LA Knight is winning. Angie, do you think LA Knight has a better chance?
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it, because I've been biting my tongue on this for the entire time that we've been talking about this. You know what it is with LA Knight and Finn Balor? You want to know what it is? It's wasted potential. It's wasted potential, but not on them. You know, we know how great they are. We know how good they are in the ring. LA Knight is actually a really good worker, and I love watching him. And the same thing with Balor. He's good at what he does. He's been doing it for such a long time. And just, I'm a little frustrated because of the fact, there could be so much more going for him. For both of them, honestly. If done right, they would have already had, great world... No, I can't even say that, because Finn Balor almost had it with the Universal Champion. Universal Champion.
That's from him due to injury.
Yeah. We didn't get a chance to see it. It wasn't in his control. It was the same thing with LA Knight. Just not by injury, but just by booking. And just getting him in that storyline that actually made him a big deal.
Who messed up that turnbuckle against Roman?
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. I'll stay in my lane.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I am never going to criticize a wrestler on this podcast for their wrestling ability. I've said it time and time again. I can't wrestle. I am not a wrestler, so who am I to say that? I say that to say this. LA Knight, I believe, is 1/70th of the work of Finn Balor is. Finn Balor is tremendous. He can wrestle from multiple positions, whether it's a heel from behind as the underdog, as somebody dominating. He's proven that he can do it all under different circumstances around the world. He's played so many different characters to perfection, and he doesn't get the credit which he deserves for that. The issue with LA Knight is he wrestles one style. He has always wrestled that style. It's not bad. He has had good matches. The issue is he has to get his stuff in every single match. They're formulaic. We know, and we know this because they can't shut up about it, because they keep going to everybody, every reporter, everything, people in WWE saying that they don't like working with LA Knight because he consistently wants to get his stuff in. We know this. So the issue is that LA Knight is actually, I think, at fault for himself not winning a WWE championship. And we joke about his age, but at a time where WWE have an aging roster and not many young stars, until now it's starting to change. But 12 months ago when he was really on fire, there wasn't. Why would they spend their time turning him into their main guy when it could be somebody younger, such as a Braun Breaker? And that is why I think they chose a Braun Breaker over him ultimately.
It should be Dirty Dom anyway, too, by the way. Back to the original question, because I'll answer it really fast. Yes, not only is Dirty Dom going to win the Money in the Bank, but the reality of this situation when it comes to Dom Mysterio is this. I made the comparison earlier last year to Stewie Griffin from Family Guy. Now, hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. Stewie Griffin from Family Guy hates his mother. Dominic Mysterio hates his father. Stewie Griffin from Family Guy is trying to take over the world, and he's morally flawed.
Yeah.
But he's the most likable character on the entire show. And that's what Dirty Dom is. And it's Dirty Dom is going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. And the moments, the laughs we will get out of him invoking vintage Eddie Guerrero type behavior and carrying that briefcase and all of that will be electric. I think, talk about all of the young people all you want. Dirty Dom has something special. People still chant for Dirty Dom now as where he's presented fully as a heel. Completely. Wait until we're all on the same team, just like Eddie Guerrero lying and cheating and stealing, and we loved him, just like Stewie Griffin trying to take over the world and murder his mom, and we still love him. He's the baby of the show, right? That is the character. Dirty Dom has done such great work. He's going to become a babyface because of it. It's reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology.
I don't like how right you are. I don't like how right you are. I really don't. I don't like how right you are, because just like the fact that he can make it as obnoxious as possible just made my eyes roll, and I'm just like, he's getting the right thing out of fans, especially fans like me, getting that reaction of being annoyed because, well, he's a heel, like he's a little too good at his job.
He really is. And again, to the age thing, he's young. I always thought he was going to be a mid-carder for the rest of his career. I'm going to be honest, even 6 months ago, I thought that. Even when he won that IC title, I thought, he's probably going to have a world title reign once or twice in his career, but I think there'll be short transitional reigns from a Money in the Bank or something. I'm now thinking this guy's genuinely going to be like, one of the top 3-4 stars in this company for the next decade.
I think no debate at this stage. I mean, the Cena match, it was Cena's last PLE match, second to last match ever. And say what you will about the finish, obviously there was, it was really more about Liv and Dom in San Diego and whatnot. But the match was really darn good. It was the highlight of a low light night.
I think it was for sure. For exaggerating how good that match was. You did this on the podcast. Well, it was not as good as their match a couple of weeks prior at all. Nowhere close to it. That's
totally fair. I would agree. Also outdoors, different scenario. But they, compared to the rest of that card, how many name another match on that card that you thought was better? Do you have one that was better?
We just have.
Yeah, they're
We
outdoors.
just have our tie on Arsenal TV moment of him blaming the loss on the rain, of you blaming the fact it wasn't a better match than the indoors one, based on the fact it was outdoors.
Different environment, dude. You got to adjust. You got to adjust the way you prepare. You got to adjust the way you get ready for that match. It's a longer walk to the ring. You have the 2 rings to work around. Viewing's not as good. I mean, yeah, man. I will blame the outdoors aspect. 100. You know what? I'm sticking by that. I kind of lobbed that in there, but I'm going to go with it.
But that's what you
I'm
said.
totally going to go with it.
But
Yes.
to actually answer your question, I did think the War Games match, both of them were better than that. And I thought both of them under-delivered.
Ooh, I actually didn't think so.
I don't even wrong. I thought the Dom Cena match was perfect for what it needed to be.
Well,
I just
also,
didn't think it was a great match.
In building perspective, that's when the crowd was the hottest. So I think I had the
fair.
most fun personally also during that match.
That's fair.
fairness.
That's fair.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. But let's get on to the next question. Fernando says that Dom is old school Miz. That is a great, great shout there. But our
That's
final.
what it is. Sorry, go ahead.
Now it makes sense. Our final submission of the day is from Rastaclaus5, who says Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble. Obafemi then loses the NXT title at New Year's Evil, wins Elimination Chamber, Sami versus Cody, with Sami winning, Oba versus Braun, and Oba wins. I like this guy's comments. I see his name around a lot in our comment section, and I really like his comments. I would really like to see Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes because I think that would be the perfect feud to turn Cody Rhodes heel in. I think there is a 0.00001% chance either of these happen. But before I get into why, I'm going to pass this to you, Angie. I want to get your perspective.
I'm trying to feel how I feel about this. I'm trying to get there, but I'm sitting here like, no, wait, that could actually work. And I love the fact that my nephew is barking up a storm about it, and he's all the way downstairs. How is his bark that loud? Anyway, I hope it's not picking up on the mic. But just the fact of that being the idea, honestly, I'm here for it. I'd like for Sami to have a big win like that because I don't think he hasn't won the Rumble yet.
No, he hasn't won the Rumble. He hasn't won a world title.
Yeah, we need just one time. Give it to me one time because you know what okay, this is something that I've noticed, and it's something that I would hate for it to be the thing. You have such a great worker who's just great for the mid card, and you'd have him in scenarios for the main event and everything. You've had a main event a couple of times, but I'd hate for that great worker to just stay with what am I trying to say? I'd hate for a great worker to only get the worker's title and not above and beyond that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Sami Zayn deserves it. There's no doubt about it to me. But the thing is, I feel like right now, because I don't see Cody turning heel, I personally think if Sami does win the Rumble in Saudi Arabia, which I think is possible, I really do, I think it'd be the World Heavyweight title. And I do believe he's going to win either that or the WWE one sometime in 2026 because, to your point, Angie, he deserves it. We need it at least once. We truly, truly do. I just can't see it being against Cody. And what I also can't see is Obafemi against Bron Breakker. They're both new stars. You cannot put 2 new stars against each other on the biggest show of the year. And the reason for that is you need to sell this to casual fans. You need to sell this match to the larger audience. And some of them still don't know who Bron Breakker is. A lot are aware of him now and are aware of the guy who does the fast spear. He speared. I show speed. He, was involved last year at WrestleMania, but they don't know much beyond that. He's only had 1 WrestleMania appearance. Obafemi hasn't been seen on the big stage apart from on a Saturday night's main event against Cody Rhodes. one day, and not just one day, I think for years to come, Obafemi and Bron Breakker will do battle at WrestleMania. I said 24 months ago they would be this generation's Rock and Austin. It's too early. It's too early to do that at WrestleMania, Clark.
Absolutely. So I'll address that one first. Out of the gates, I think it's far too early for Oba versus Bron Breakker. Honestly, I think the only shot at that happening is if it were me, the way that I would work to get there is having it not involve a world title. Have Oba versus Bron Breakker be a blood feud. If we were trying to get this done in April, because it can't be one of the title matches on the poster just yet. It's too much pressure on the two, and they're too recently on Tuesday night, as the Tuesday Night Delight in the comments, Shad knows. And when it comes to the Sammy thing, I do want to address this because I predicted when they announced that the Rumble was in Saudi Arabia, obviously Sammy, he's of Syrian descent, but he's beloved in Saudi Arabia. And I thought logically, okay, if that's where the Rumble is, man, would this make sense for Sami Zayn? I do think the only problem is right this second, just the way things worked out between the United States title open challenge and dropping the belt to Ilya, and now was the time to build that, and we didn't do it. So I don't see that being in the cards either. Of the two predictions, when it comes to this question, that would be the one that I would prefer. I would love to see Sami Zayn win and take on Cody or Gunther or anybody. It doesn't, CM Punk, whoever you want. I don't care. Sami Zayn can handle that spot already. Absolutely. My prediction now, though, is there's a lot of pressure on this Vegas Mania. Remember, we moved it from New Orleans back to the same place they did it last year. Last year's Mania was criticized, especially night 2 and the ending and whatnot. You can't mess this one up. And with a really important Rumble coming up, I know last year I said early prediction Sami Zayn. My prediction early for the Rumble now is Roman Reigns. And you definitively give him the record for Rumble wins. You have him stand tall and you put him right dead center in the middle of the poster with a stare down for WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. I think that's just the most logical solution for all parties involved right this second, unfortunately. And that's no knock on Sami Zayn.
Yeah, it absolutely is a knock on Sami Zayn, and it sucks. The crowds are annoying me about it, but Donnie is right. Sami is ice cold right now. I genuinely believe before Seth got hurt that the plan was always to do Seth versus Sami this year at Mania. I believe that was always going to be the plan. I predicted it a long time ago, and they foreshadowed it the night after WrestleMania 41. Mm-hmm. They foreshadowed it then, and they foreshadowed it a couple of weeks later too, when Heyman said to Sami, "Don't get involved in this vision stuff. We'll leave you alone. We like you. All this." I believe that was the plan. The issue was, since then, fans have turned on Sami a little bit. The US title kind of got fans back on his side a little bit, but right now it's true. He is ice cold. They're not really booing and they're not really cheering. We got a comment here from Boycott Activision saying, comparing Bron to Austin, eesh. I'm not comparing Bron Breakker to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm comparing Bron Breakker versus Obafemi as this generation's Austin versus Rock. A big feud, which is the face of a generation. You could say the same thing about John Cena and Randy Orton as well, right? And that feud, I mean, that was nowhere near the quality of Rock and Austin, but those two were the two guys who feuded, and it was the big feud for a generation.
Also, if you don't like the analogy, what do you prefer? Ali Frazier? What is it? Magic Bird? What do you want? It's a big important rivalry. Like which analogy would you like?
I think what probably would need to be specified here is that we're not comparing the wrestlers themselves. We're comparing the rivalries themselves. The rivalry.
Absolutely. We got Win saying that Sami Zayn is winning the Rumble. I mean, look. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. And Numero One says, I personally think Bron is not only losing tonight, but he will win the Royal Rumble and then do a rematch at WrestleMania. That's possible as well. I think, I'm going to be honest, it wouldn't be what I would do. I think if you're going to do that, I mean, I still think the best thing that they can do is have Bron Breakker win tonight, go to the Rumble, have Punk beat Theory at the Rumble, then have Rollins, then at Elimination Chamber, do an Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship. In that match, have it come down to Punk and Breaker, and right at the last second, Seth Rollins returns, Punk wins back the title. But at that point, then Rollins also stomps. I've just broken it down terribly, but I've explained it several times. And basically, I think the best option is a 3-way between those 3 at WrestleMania, with Punk walking in as champion and winning it back off Ron Breaker with the help of Seth Rollins before Seth stomps on the head of CM Punk as well. We'll have to wait and see. But that, guys, does bring us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hype this video. It massively helps. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, Angie. Peace.